Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming in with the weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull MM in the monogram canvas. Alright, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's do our workout, let's go to work, let's do laundry, whatever it is that you do, come join me. We have some awesome topics to cover today, and loads of eye candy. Alright, so starting with the very first question from Ashley Steinbach, hopefully I said that correctly. Are there any other luxury brands that you want to expand to? Balenciaga, Prada, Fendi, just to name a few. Fabulous question, and yes, there are a few other luxury brands that I would like to add to my collection. I don't know if those were necessarily going to come to fruition, but a girl can dream, right? The first one is definitely the Goyard tote. I think it is beautiful. Sometimes I wonder if I should go for the red or if I should go for the gray that they have. But I think it's really great. I know some people really say how carefree it is and how it ends up wearing over time. And other people say that it doesn't wear the best. But either way, I feel like I've done so much research on it and I still cannot get it out of my head. So the tote that they have is great. Another one that I would potentially like to add to the collection is an Hermes Garden Party. You guys know that I really appreciate totes, kind of like the Goyard that I was just talking about. And when it comes to the Garden Party, I feel that it's so incredibly simple. I like the ones that are all the beautiful leather that they have. And sometimes I think about going for a red, or if I should end up going for the gold, the gold leather that they have, that they're known for. So I kind of go back and forth with that one, but I think that the Garden Party is absolutely beautiful and it's been on my radar for quite some time as well. And another one that I would like to add is the Loewe puzzle bag. Now this bag has grown on me so incredibly much because when I first saw it, I wasn't really a big fan of it. And then the more and more research that I did on it, the more and more we talked about it here on Minks Monday. It's kind of one of those bags that I'm just like, oh man, I absolutely love it. Some of them have really funky designs, but I'm talking about just their simple leather bags. I don't know, I feel like there's just something about it, you know? And I also like the fact that it's a little bit of a different type of silhouette than anything that I have in my collection at the moment. So between the Loewe puzzle bag, the Goyard tote, the Hermes Garden Party, and I still have on the radar, remember, a girl can dream, right? A Lady Dior. I think the Lady Dior is a beautiful bag, and that one as well. I think maybe I should go for the black lambskin because black I can wear, anytime. But there's a tiny part of me that's like, no, go for pink. Go for pink. I don't know, because they have so many beautiful colors. So that was kind of a long-winded, luxury brands that I'd like to add to my collection, but those are the ones that stand out the most, I still, I'm a hardcore fan of Chanel, and I still love Louis Vuitton, but I would really like to add other brands into my collection, and I'm curious to know what are some brands that you would like to add to your collection that you don't currently have. But fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Badger Paws McGee. I'm one of those people who keeps everything plus the kitchen sink in my handbags. I love my Neverfull MM and especially my GM, but I'm trying to grow my collection. What other bags out there do you recommend that hold a similar amount? This is a little bit harder just because there's so many fabulous options out there, but just from personal experience, I have two in my collection that I really feel I can carry everything in the kitchen sink. The first one isn't necessarily a luxury brand, but I feel that it deserves a mention, and that is the Longchamp Le Pliage large tote with the large handle. This bag is incredible. You have the carefree leather, you have the very durable material as well, and this bag, my friend, this bag opens up so incredibly generous that you can see everything at a glance. Currently I have a purse organizer, which I normally don't use in there, but I'm using it for storage. Check it out. Bam. You have so much space in there. I think it is awesome. So sometimes when I want to carry a little bit more, especially if we're traveling, then I think that this carries just as much as the Neverfull MM, if not a little bit more. And again, the fact that it's very carefree, I think is awesome. So the Longchamp Le Pliage large tote. Another one that I have in my collection that I can carry everything and the kitchen sink, and if I wanted to carry Edward, I could probably get away with fitting him in here. That is the Deauville. This bad boy fits so incredibly much. I feel like I can end up carrying what I carry in my long shop, in my Neverfull, and I still have space in this guy. This is the large size, the 30 centimeter, and it's also incredibly generous. I just love totes that are a little bit more open. This one isn't as secure as the long shop, just because that one does have a zippered closure, but currently it is stuffed, and I do have a purse organizer in there, but yeah, it is, this thing is huge. And I also like this size because you have a few different ways that you can carry it. You can either use it, you know, as a hand carry bag on the crook of your arm, or you can use it as a shoulder bag because it does have this strap here. So again, these are just two of the ones that I have in my collection that I feel that I can carry a lot with me. Another one that I wanted to mention is the Saint Laurent large shopping tote. That one I had for a hot second and it ended up going back, but it's very understated, it's all leather, and that also fits as much as the Neverfull MM in my opinion. But I turn to you guys. If you guys currently have a large tote or a large bag that fits everything and the kitchen sink that you really like, let us know in the comment section down below. But fantastic question, hopefully we get some awesome feedback for you. Next question from Kimberly Spence. What do you think of bags from MCM? When it comes to MCM, I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't really pay too much attention to them back in the day. I thought that they were really cute. I'd see them from afar, but I didn't really do a lot of research. I didn't really, you know, go in to see what people were saying about the brand. I just kind of left it as such. And in a sense, I judged a book by its cover because I was like, nah, you know, they look kind of cool, but not necessarily for me, without really knowing what they're about type of thing, you know? So I know that's not the best thing to say, but like I said before, I'm just being honest with you. I have a new appreciation for MCM. Earlier this year, I got the opportunity to really check them out, to do a little bit more research, and I went into one of their stores and I tried out my items inside, and I really like some of the silhouettes that they have. Sometimes I find that because of just the regular print that they have can be busy, they have some designs that they end up making them even busier. They add studs to it, or they add different details that are a little too much for myself. But one thing's for sure, that I really truly appreciate their price point. I think they have awesome price points, especially for the craftsmanship. A lot of people rave about the materials from their MCM pieces. They've had the bags or the small leather goods for years and years, and they've had no issues. So I think that's really great. I know that they recently launched, either they recently launched or they're about to launch a handbag. I forget the name. If I can find it, I will put it either here. But it's similar to the Pochette Métis. It's all leather, and I think it looks really nice. It's a little bit smaller, but that one's really nice as well. So, you know, overall, I think some of the designs that they have are really great. Some of them are a little too busy, but they're very, I don't know, they're very simple, and they have silhouettes that are similar to other fashion houses, you know, and just like I said before, people were raving about the durability, and again, the price point that they have, I think is really, really awesome. So I am looking forward to adding either an MCM small leather good or a handbag to my collection. I don't know which yet, but like I said before, I have a new appreciation for them. So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Monkey. Is the Louis Vuitton Capucine on your horizon at all? I must say there has never been a Louis Vuitton leather bag that has captivated me as much as the Capucine. I think that the Capucine is a beautiful, beautiful bag. I love that you have different sizes to choose from. You also have a variety of different details to go for. You can either go with one that has exotic, you can either go with one that has studs, or you can go for the simple version. Either way, I think that's really great, so that way you can add a little bit more personality to the handbag. But I personally like the one that's a little bit more simple. I feel that simplicity speaks volumes. You guys know how I am. And I also like the fact that it has a little bit of history to it, because the Capucine is Louis Vuitton's version of a Chanel classic flap. You know, it's something that they wanted to make classic to the fashion house. It's something that they wanted to make timeless, and I really feel that this bag kind of captures all of that. But even with that said, it's not necessarily for me. And every time I've gone into the boutique to kind of like try it out and see how it ends up working out for my lifestyle, there's something that always hinders me from adding it to my collection. It could very well be because of what we talked about last week, that I end up going for Louis Vuitton more for canvas than I do for leather. That could be a reason, but I cannot deny the fact that it is a beautiful, beautiful bag, and the craftsmanship that it has and just the simplicity that it has and the details. I mean, it is a gorgeous bag, and when I see it on other people, I think it looks amazing. But when I see it on myself, or when I go to try it out for myself, it doesn't really, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't really end up working out for me. So maybe that'll end up changing as time goes by, but at this point in time, the Capucine is not for me. So fantastic question, hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Kirsten A. Would you ever get a Stella McCartney bag? Absolutely I would, but if I was to get a Stella McCartney bag, it would have to have a lot more structure than the ones that they currently have in their lineup. For the most part, the ones that I've seen, they're a little too slouchy. I know some people really like that, and that's kind of, that's kind of classic to the type of bags that they have. But it would have to have a little bit more structure. And I also found the ones that do maintain their shape a little bit better, they're a little too busy. They either have a little bit more fringe, or they have stars on them, or what have you. So if I can get one that's a little bit more simple and that kind of keeps its shape, absolutely I would go for a Stella McCartney bag. If you guys do have Stella McCartney bags, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you know of one that kind of has those things that I'm looking for, let me know as well, because I have done research on them back in the day when they first came out, and I kind of keep my eye on them, as the years go by. And so far, I haven't really found one that kind of speaks to me. But if I do find one, absolutely, absolutely, I will go for them. And some of them also have awesome, awesome price points, so I do appreciate that aspect about them. But again, if you guys have any recommendations for that type of Stella McCartney bag, let me know in the comment section down below. So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Mikhail McDonald. 2 questions. Number 1, what's your favorite rainy day handbag? I'm a Louis Vuitton purist, haha, but my collection is very small and I only have pieces with Vachetta. Great question. And when it comes to rainy day handbags for Louis Vuitton, there are 2 that I use quite often. The first one being the Alma BB and the Demi Ben, just because you have the color treated leather, I don't have to worry about anything, and I still get my fix with red because of this gorgeous, gorgeous interior. You guys know how I feel about it. So I really like using this bag in the rain, but I will have to say that at the very top of that favorite type of list for handbags in the rain, it's gotta be this bad boy, which is the Palm Springs Mini Backpack. This bag is incredible. I actually used it the other day. It was raining last week, or the week before it was raining. And I went out there, I was wearing my docs, and I decided to bust this bad boy out. I took a picture in the rain, and I will insert it right now. And I was all about it. I'm like, yes, yes, bring on the rain, because again, you have that color treated leather. I can still end up carrying a little bit more in here. And what I really like about it as well is that I have various ways to carry it. So that way, if I am using an umbrella, I'm not necessarily limited to only using it either on the crook of my arm or as a hand carry bag. So when it comes to favorites for rainy day, this one absolutely takes the cake. I think it even takes the cake even more so than some of my Chanels. Even though I go for the caviar ones, still I end up using that one like 99% of the time when it rains, or the off chance that it rains where I live, So that one. And number 2, I know I just said I'm more loyal to Louis Vuitton, but I'm thinking about a Gucci Marmont Super Mini. What do you think about the Super Mini, if you even have an opinion about it? All right, so with the Gucci Marmont Super Mini, I know a lot of people love this bag because even though it's small, you can carry it various ways, so that way you can incorporate it into certain aspects of your lifestyle, so I think that's great. A lot of people rave about how durable the leather is as well. You don't have to be too careful with it. You don't have to necessarily worry that it's going to scratch very easily or anything like that. A lot of people love the hardware as well, just because you have that that antique gold that kind of adds to the overall look of the bag. Now, even with all of that said, personally, the Gucci Marmont Super Mini, or any Marmont, is not for me. And that's because of that darn heart on the back. I know that we've talked about it before, and I get so many people that get upset with me because I'm like, I don't like the heart, it's not for me, it's not for me, you know, and they're like, that's what makes it so great, you know, I love the heart. That's great, to each their own. But for me, the heart ends up kind of dating the bag. You know, kind of like back in the day when you would see a lot of bags that had stars on them or whatever the case may be, and those kind of phased out. I feel that if they didn't have the heart on there, it would make the bag a little bit more classic. Again, I know a lot of you will disagree with me, and that's totally fine, you know, but it's not really for me. But I do appreciate the versatility that it has. I appreciate the leather that it has, and even though it's small, it still ends up packing a punch, because I've seen people end up carrying a lot more in there than you might think. So it has a lot going for it, and it also has a really great price point. And a lot of people say that it's some of their all-time favorite handbags that they have in their collection. So I say, if you love it, go for it. You know, it might end up being a favorite for you as well, even though you are loyal to Louis Vuitton. But fantastic questions, and hopefully I was able to help. Next question from Win Kimon 79. Hopefully I said that correctly. Can you share your thoughts on the Chanel Vanity case? I absolutely love the Chanel Vanity case. And the craziest thing, as many of you know, is that I end up going for really simple bags. And this one has a whole lot of bells and whistles going on, but there's just something about it that always ends up drawing me in. I love the fact that you have different sizes to choose from. I love the fact that it has compartments. And for this type of bag, it has a whole lot of function to it. You know what I mean? You can either use it as a crossbody bag, you can use it on your shoulder. And I feel that usually when it comes to vanity cases, with other fashion houses, I think that they're really cute, but they might be a little bit awkward to pull off as a handbag. But this one, you can actually pull it off as a handbag, you know what I mean? You can either use it as a vanity case, as a train case, as a handbag, whatever the case may be. And I'm not too keen on some of the combos that they have for the leather either. I know some people are really big fans of the black with a beige, that two-tone leather. Personally, I end up going for something that's all just one color, or that doesn't have that big of a contrast when it comes to colors, just because I feel that the two-tone kind of makes it even busier than it already is. But again, that's all personal preference. But regardless, I think that this bag is so incredibly beautiful. You know, it has that retro feel to it. It has that 1940s kind of vibe. That is something that I absolutely appreciate when it comes to handbags. You know, and would I ever end up adding one to my collection? I have no idea. I have gone into the boutique a few times and I'm like, I don't know. Should I go for it? Should I not? What should I do? You know, so I don't know if it's necessarily on the radar for me to get, you know, anytime soon, but I think it is absolutely beautiful. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the chain is removable. If it did, I think it would add a lot more play to the bag. But do I think it is beautiful? Do I think it's great? Absolutely I do. So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Icare Work. Hopefully I said that correctly. What's your opinion on the Louis Vuitton Icare Classic monogram? Would you consider it as a work bag? Fantastic question. And let me insert a picture of the Icare right now. I think this is a beautiful bag, and do I consider it a work bag? It's all a matter of personal preference, to be honest, because I know some people might end up shying away from the monogram canvas just because they find it to be a little too loud or it draws a little too much attention, especially if you end up working in a type of environment that's a little bit more professional. So they might end up going for something a little bit more understated. And some people might say absolutely end up going for it. You know, it's one of the best work bags that they have. I do appreciate certain aspects about it. I love the fact that it has different compartments, and that way if you want to carry your paperwork in one, you still have a compartment for your laptop and other items as well. So I think that's great. I also like the silhouette that it has because it's very simple. But the main thing that I really appreciate about the Icare is the fact that it comes with a fabric strap. Now I know some people aren't a fan of the fabric strap, especially for the price point that this bag has. But for me, when it comes to a work bag, I want something that's going to be very functional and something that's going to be very comfortable. So that way if you go to use this as a crossbody bag or on your shoulder, you don't have to worry that you're necessarily going to be carrying around a brick, especially if you're carrying your laptop, you know what I mean? It's going to be a lot more comfortable. So I think that's great. So again, it's all a matter of personal preference. If the monogram canvas just kind of speaks to you, then I would end up going for that one. But if you want something maybe a little bit more understated, something that doesn't draw as much attention in a professional type of setting, then I would end up checking out the Daymaker feet. But good luck and fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to help. And the last question from Riz Thompson. I've been saving up for my new Chanel bag, looking for squares, mini, or small flat bag, but I've just found out that the price has increased. Should I go with a more affordable bag on different brands or keep saving up for my Chanel? This is an awesome question, and I know exactly what you're talking about with that price increase. I do believe that if you go online, you can see that the prices have increased considerably, anywhere from a $200 to a $500 jump. I'm not sure if the prices have increased in the boutique just yet. Don't quote me on it. I could be wrong. But that price increase definitely ended up kind of sneaking up on us type of thing, right? All right, so you don't know if you should end up going for the Chanel or if you should try out different brands. All right, so it's kind of hard to say because it's all a matter of personal preference. Part of me thinks that if you end up going for the Chanel bag, you know, it's kind of like the bag that's been on your radar. That's the bag that you've been saving up for. I feel that sometimes for myself, there's a type of satisfaction that I get when it comes to the bag that I've been saving up for. For example, the reissue. I saved up for it, and once that bag came, you know, the combination that I was looking for, I was like, yes, I was able to get it. And again, that type of satisfaction really ended up adding to how much I enjoyed the bag. That might sound kind of ridiculous to some people, but again, these are just my 2 cents. Another part of me says that if you end up going for a bag that isn't Chanel, you know, who knows, maybe with those same funds, you can end up adding 2 to 3 other bags of different brands and add a lot more variety to your collection that way. And who knows, they might end up being bags that you absolutely love, you know, but if you feel like there's the slightest doubt in your mind where you think that if you end up going for a different bag that's not Chanel, it won't give you the same type of satisfaction. It won't, I mean, you're gonna like it, but maybe not necessarily be in love with the bag type of thing. Then maybe I would end up sticking to saving up for that Chanel. That way you're like, okay, I got the Chanel that I wanted, and you know, maybe moving forward, you can go for other brands. You know, so that's why I'm saying if there's that slightest doubt where you feel like nothing will be able to really fill the void of that Chanel, then I would go for it. But if you're like, you know what, I really like the Chanel handbags, I think that they're great, but maybe if I can add more variety to my collection, then end up going that route. You know, I know some people will see it differently, you know, and like I said before, you might end up falling in love with another brand that you wouldn't have given a chance to had it not been for that increase. And on that same note, when it comes to the Chanel increase, I can only speak for myself, but it's getting harder and harder to justify the prices that they have. You know, I know some people have the possibility to continue to buy from them, and I think that's absolutely amazing. But again, I'm only speaking for myself. It's getting a lot harder to justify it because I've told you guys before, I can't just bat my eyes and I have a brand new bag. I have to save up for it, you know. But I can say I am I'm very happy and I'm very thankful that I do have the classics that I have in my collection, you know, because when I look at the prices that they are now in comparison to what they were when I purchased them or when they were gifted to me, it's a huge difference, you know. So I don't know, Chanel, you're kind of kicking my ass type of thing. But anyways, I don't know if this is helpful or not. Again, these are just my 2 cents. I know a lot of people might see it differently, but I wish you the best of luck in deciding which route you end up going for. But fantastic question. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help. You guys had some awesome questions this week. Now for this week's lineup, you might see me 2 or 3 times. I'm not too sure, but I still have my handbag of the week, and we will be highlighting one of my favorites. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that does it for this week. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And I'll see you guys later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.